Okay, in this video I've got two things for you. Basically some militaria porn, some things that just arrived this morning, and I'll show you those two items that I'm pretty excited about. Got a new accessory for the K98, and I'm just in the process of packing out all the pistols, all the firing mechanisms for the machine guns, submachine guns, everything, as I do every time I go overseas for an extended period of time. I have to get all that stuff out of the house, taken to an industrial place and locked up in a big safe there, and that includes all the expensive daggers, metal grips, all that kind of shit. So I'm doing that over the next 2 days, and we're packing it out so that if we get burgled while I'm away, although there'll be people in the house, if anybody's watching this thinking this is a good idea, good time to burgle us, then they're not going to find anything here that's worthy of the effort. So just one of those things. We're off in a couple of days for a 7-week trip to Europe. The only change to the program is that we're meeting a guy in Singapore. We head across to Singapore for the night. Bill and Travis and I, ex-army boys, we're meeting a guy over there called John, who used to be in charge of the New Zealand Special Air Service. He's a ferocious drinker. Best description I've heard of him is that he is Peter Pan if Peter Pan was Rambo. So the trip is going to start off with a hiss and a roar. Then we're off to Istanbul, up to Singapore for a couple of days, and down to Gallipoli. And I'll be filming all the way through, just little vignettes, bits and pieces with the guides. From Italy we're across to Monte Cassino, a couple of days there, up to Anzio, Rome, Parma, the hell are we going after Parma, Lake Maggiore, Verona, and then we're flying down to Crete for a week, then on to Athens, back to Istanbul, London, home. So we're away for a significant period of time, which is really what we want to be doing every year now, getting out of New Zealand for the winter. So anyway, I'll just crack on, and I'm not buying that much in the way of firearms at the moment. I've got largely what I want. There's a few things I still want to get hold of, but I'm putting the money more into militaria, again, just as a bit of an investment hedge, because I've got a shitload of money tied up in the guns, and who knows, you know, with what's happening around the world, the laws could change, and yeah, it's just a wee bit risky. So I'm putting money into militaria and high-end metal groups, which is some things I'll show you in a second. But what I did find was this is a Portuguese contract, K98, manufactured in 1941. It was never delivered to the Portuguese because the Germans decided they wanted it for their Wehrmacht, or their Heer, army. But it is an interesting bit of kit. I've seen these things before, but generally you don't get it with the rear sight and the pouch and the tool. And this all came as one complete kit, and it's mint. I don't think it can't have been issued. It's obviously never gone out of storage. The soldiers didn't like it because of the sight mechanism. The unit itself just clamps across the top of the barrel, but the rear sight is a little bit too complicated for infantry types. Very much like when we were using the M72 and the M79, you just ignored the sights, fired the bloody thing, see where the round landed, and then just applied windage. This allows for range to be applied. I'll push that in and down if I do it from this hand. Yep. No, I can't, sorry. Let's try it this way. Push that down and push that up. There we go. You can apply range. There's a scale at the back here, and then you've got just a simple sighting mechanism with a bubble at the top that's supposed to be leveled. It's too complicated. As I say, the soldiers generally didn't use this. The army withdrew it, and they came up with a scheme where you could use your rear sight, laying it across the top of what you can see of the foresight, and you could work out approximate ranges up to about 400 metres. All a little bit too over-engineered, which is fairly typically German, but it's in beautiful condition. The rear sight just sits across the top of the receiver, snug up against the rear sight mount, and there's a leaf spring here which gets clamped down. So it was just a nice thing to have as far as accessories for firearms. But what arrived today is the Gucci shit. This is the pornography side of it, militaria porn. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I've joined a forum on the internet which is specialists in Third Reich militaria. It's a fantastic forum, spending a lot of time on it, doing some buying through it, and I've just had the daggers out because I'm packing them away along with the helmet and the visor. They're going to be packed away and taken out of here, but I thought I'd take some photos for the guys on the forum, so that's why this stuff is out here. This is an SS NCO's visor. It's in really good condition, and it's got a non-regulation Edelweiss, which is we found out subsequently that it's an SA unit. The guy was an SA man before he be transferred to the SS. It's pre-war, it's in really good condition, which is kind of unusual for these, and being that is the case, it tends to be hellaciously expensive. There's a RZM stamp there as well. So a really good thing to have. There's a label on the inside, but I'm not going to fart ass around. That arrived this morning, and it sits together with my double decal SS, Kelly Hicks certified, and some of the SS daggers. We've got a full inscription Roan, full inscription Himmler, and a Firth School inscription. I've made videos of these before, and a chained SS. So the SS side of things, I'm just concentrating on very high-end items, good investments, portable, get them out of the country in any problem without a drama. And the remainder of the daggers are sitting there in that cabinet. Now the other thing that I have, and I think I've showed this before in the past too, I have a Knights Cross group. I bought this one. This is ordered to a guy called Jakob Futsch. His metal group's in here, Knights Cross is here, Iron Cross First Class here. He was a guy that appealed to me because it was unusual for senior NCOs to be awarded the Knights Cross. It's a nice group, and the cross itself is a little bit worn because he used to actually wear it. He survived the war, and you know, it was something that he wore around his neck for at least a year. So it's complete with the original shoelace that he used to hang the fucking thing off from his uniform. So that appealed to me. But I've been after a good Knights Cross group, and this one I picked up from E-Metals. I've been watching it for a year, jumped on and negotiated a bit of a price reduction, and very generously they allowed me to purchase it. This is to an infantry Panzer Grenadier Major. He went right through the war. Sadly, he was killed in June of 1944. And it's a reasonably well-known group. It's been, you know, it's had a lot of pairs of eyes on it, but it's nice in the sense that all the medals that you see here were issued to him. This is not a make-up group. Everything you see here was issued to him, and I've got that assurance from the dealer, and money back guaranteed buy, etc. I've put it past the experts on the forum. They all concur that it's a good, legitimate group. So we've got the Knights Cross, which is absolutely mint because he was killed before it could be awarded to him. German Cross in gold, Iron Cross Second Class, Iron Cross First Class, a couple of wound badges, a couple of infantry assault badges, and the West Wall Defence Medal, as well as ribbon. And you know, I don't even know what the hell this is. I have to look it up. I don't even know what the hell that is, but it's part of his medal group. I think it's Labour Corps, maybe pre-war service, I don't know. We've got his Wehrpass, and it's got some interesting entries up to and including the awarding of the Knights Cross, as well as a whole bunch of documentation, copies of the award for, this is actually the original award for the German Cross in gold, and then some copies of his other award certificates, bits and pieces. It's just a nice solid medal group. So that's kind of where I'm going with the militaria side of things, just to get away a little bit from the reliance on firearms, which is, as I say, it's just concerning me that things are getting a bit perilous with law changes. So the reason the place is looking like a Turkish brothel is that I have to pack all the pistols out, submachine guns, parts, firing mechanisms. They're already out of the guns, but I've got to get them off-site into another safe, just to get them some geographic separation. Now when I get back from this wonderful trip that we've got planned, plan B for us, for a second, is we have to make a decision about whether we're going to stay here or move. Now, if we stay here, the house is going to be too bloody big for us, but I have the option of popping a hole in the wall, knocking that wall out, going through and putting a staircase in up into the roof cavity in the part of the house next door, so it'll be a split level mezzanine. Something I'm seriously thinking about, because as you can see this place is just jammed to the gunnels, and I can't display things like medal groups and uniforms particularly well. So that's a project I'll have a look at when we get back. Failing that, Joe and I will probably, we don't know what we're going to do. We may sell this house, get a lock up and leave, and just spend half a year in New Zealand and half a year overseas. We may do a corporate rental next year to try that out. We might do a house swap with somebody in Italy. We don't know. Everything's in a bit of a state of flux at the moment. Kids are all leaving home quietly, getting out of the way, so we're kind of free agents now, and it's going to be interesting to see in the next couple of months which way the wind blows. I don't anticipate doing anything in the next 12 months, but certainly 2015 I think will be the year that we have to make some tough decisions. Do we stay? Do we go? You know, how do we want to live our lives? So anyway, that's all. Other than the travel preparation, I have my emergency kit, being a good travel prepper. That'll be filled with bourbon. I've got the sleeping pills for the long haul flights, passport and a handful of euros, tide us over till we can get to the money machines in Italy. And basically once I've got this this pack out done, I'm ready to go. So, I'm off. Should be a fucking epic trip. Should be a lot of fun. And I'll be posting videos as we go. Hope you're all well. Talk to you soon.